Hello, STEPH Infection listeners. It's me, Steph Tolev, shoving my tour dates down your throat because I have a huge Filth Queen tour coming up, and I really don't want you to miss when I'm in your city. So please buy tickets if you hear your city right fucking now. Thank you. I will be in Chicago at the Downtown Zanies nightclub, December 27th, 31st. I'll be at the Milwaukee Improv, January 1st to 6th. Then I'll be in the Pittsburgh Comedy Club, January 12th to 14th. I'll be in Tacoma at the Tacoma Comedy Club, January 25th, 27th. Then guess what? More dates in February. Bricktown Comedy Club, Oklahoma City, February 8th to 10th. Then I'll be in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Dr. Grins, a lot of Grand Rapids heads out there. Please come see me February 15th to 17th. Then I'll be in Rochester, New York at Comedy at the Carlson, February 22nd and 24th. Sorry, brain fart there. Then guess what? My birthday weekend. You better goddamn be in New Brunswick, New Jersey at the Stress Factory, March 7th, my birthday, to the 9th. Then I'll be in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. You fucking Canadians better come. You're always up my ass when we're not coming. I'll be at Rumors Comedy Club, March 14th to 16th. Then I'll be in Appleton, Wisconsin, March 21st to 24th, and that's where I'm going to stop for now. Go get tickets. Link in my bio, stephtolev.comey.io. Please, God, buy tickets. Thank you for listening. Bye. Thank you so much to our sponsor, Nutrafol. Did you know that hair thinning will happen to approximately 1 in 2 women? If you're among them, no, you're not alone. Nutrafol is here to help deliver results. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month's subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code INFECTION. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code INFECTION. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code INFECTION. This holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. Head to factormeals.com/infection50 and use code infection50 to get 50% off. That's code infection50 at factormeals.com/infection50 to get 50% off. Welcome back to STEPH Infection. Very funny comedian Gianmarco Soresi is here with me. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. I opened for you last night.
You
2
did?
sold out shows at the Hollywood Improv.
Thank you.
It's great. Congrats.
And you did great. The crowd loved you.
I just off mic said they hated me. Here's the thing. I think I just scared your crowd. Because you're not particularly dirty. You're not.
I am dirty. People think I'm not dirty. I'm very dirty.
You were dirty on the Nasty Show in Montreal. I was like, Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
it's called the Nasty Show. I mean, you know, it was a 7:30 p.m. The late show. I get dirty. I can get dirty.
I know. I'm not saying you're not, but I think in general, I don't see you do. You've had sex before.
I've had sex and I talk about it a lot.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
I did.
not like
raunchy.
I can't.
I do.
I really.
Yeah. Let me open for you one day, and I'll raunch it up.
All right.
I'll scare your audience.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Because then I was embarrassed, and I was like, I did weird. I was like, I shouldn't have gone that dirty, and then I felt like they were like confused.
But you know how it is. What do you want when you're headlining? You're not watching your opener. If you're booze, you go, "What the fuck is going on?"
No one's watching.
But otherwise, I'm just thinking about myself.
Yeah, of course.
You did great.
You should be.
I was happy to have you.
It was usually at the Improv I do well. I get well received. It was just hard for me. They're a bit more warm.
Well, I was saying we did JFL together, and there was one set you were not happy with, and you let it be known.
I did not do
the head of the biggest comedy festival in the world called you the next day to see if you were okay.
It was bad set.
And it made me feel like, oh, I guess I'm because I'm very, I think you're more public, but with Tova, my girlfriend, I'm a mess.
So
I'm a ball of need. No, I'm saying when I have a bad set, I go home, I have to leave, and then I just over and over again, I'm losing my mind.
See, maybe it's because I have no one to go home and do that to. I got no outlet. The dog, she don't do so much.
Yeah, the dog's like, please, Steph,
She
God,
like rolls
Jesus.
her eyes. She leaves the room when I'm going off sometimes. I'm like, can we just fucking focus on me? That set was embarrassing though. I was mortified because it was like early on in the festival.
It wasn't an embarrassing set.
It wasn't embarrassing.
An embarrassing set is Kramer had an embarrassing set. Okay, your set was fine.
No, fine isn't. First of all, when I was at last, so being the headliner of this midnight show, there's already some more pressure. You annihilated hosting. Usually hosts do well. You are killing. Fucking Dino kills. Fucking Asmus annihilates.
Of course, Asmus always annihilates. He's a
but
tough
I
fellow.
usually annihilate. So when I do so poorly, I was like, what the
What do you want
heck?
people to say to you after though? Because I think the problem you do a thing of like I bombed and you didn't bomb. But what do you want? What do you want people to say? What do you want in that moment?
To be honest with me, I hate when comments.
Okay. So let's go back. We're honest. So you come off. Say I bombed.
You bombed.
No. You say.
Okay,
Say you say.
I just bombed.
Steph, it was a perfectly acceptable set, and no one's going to remember it.
See, that would help.
Really?
No one's gonna remember it. That actually would make me feel better.
Okay.
Because I don't like this pussyfooting around. I bombed
Sure.
a Don't Tell taping, and I got off stage, and I was like, that was bad. And Brad Sullenser went, I've never seen you do that badly. And I was like, thank you for being fucking honest with me, because I know it was bad.
I did a Don't Tell set the next day. I was in the Delta Lounge, and 6 in the morning, and I was crying about how bad the set was to Tova, where it was a little bit later. And I remember Henry was hey.
Who the hell? Henry Winkler?
Henry Winkler was in the Delta Lounge wearing bright green pants, and I was crying, and he very much could see me crying, talking to my girlfriend. And I had the horrible narcissistic fantasy of like, this is so embarrassing. Like the thought, just like the fantasy of like, if he came up and he said to me, he was like, hey, artist. And I was like, yeah. He'd be like, hey, it's going to be okay. We all those days. I had this moment like Henry would somehow see me and like a magical figure would make me feel better.
Did he say anything?
No, not at all. He just was like, what the fuck? This guy's crying in the Delta Lounge.
He calls his wife. He's like, some fucking clown is crying. Some idiot in shorts. No, I feel like I just liked the honesty. But that makes me feel better because my Don't Tell taping was, stinky. Stunk.
Well, stop filming LA. I will never, after that Don't Tell, I will never film in LA again.
No, it's
never
really
again.
hard to film here. Yeah. But
you did also want me to bring up, because you did my podcast.
Oh yes, The Downside, which is a very good podcast.
The Downside. And we talked before about how annoying it is when guests come on to your podcast and you do all this work and then at the end they go, can you take that part out? Can you take that part out? And you're like, can you just be a fucking adult? And do you know this is our job to publicly speak? Could you not control yourself? And you were like, oh, it's the worst. We commiserated. We record, great episode. Hey, Gianmarco, could we take this one part out? I talk about this thing. I really, and I was like, are you fucking serious?
After
are you
making
fucking serious?
the biggest scene.
It was
pretty funny. And
it was
like,
wild.
And I was so embarrassed to be like, hey, remember all this stuff I said? Here's the thing.
Not embarrassed enough.
I cried on your podcast.
You did?
I've never, I had a full cry, but that's on the Patreon only, right?
Yeah, we released an excerpt, but not with the crying in it.
Okay.
You got to pay for Steph's tears.
You got to pay for the tears. You got to pay for the tears. But I had just broken up with my horrendous ex-boyfriend, and my grandmother died within 2 days. So and then I went to the worst comedy festival on the planet. So it was 3 horrendous things happening back to back to back. Your podcast.
Wait, so you're putting the festival like on the same scale?
Oh yeah, that
as
festival was so fucking bad. I'm literally putting it on the same fucking scale. I don't give a shit. I've openly talked about how much I hate the festival. I'm never doing it again. But it was like I just was so emotional. It was nice to release, but I was also like, what am I doing? Crying on this is absurd.
Yeah, but it's like if I don't know. At some point, you're going to be on Stern, and Stern's you're going to call Stern. He's going to say, no, we're not taking it down. That's what gets the views. You said the thing you weren't supposed to say.
Yeah.
In a way, we get to meet. We really are like a media trained. Because we do so many podcasts, I feel like we're more trained like when we have to do that.
When we know to say something. Yeah, I said something on Annie Lederman's podcast the other day, and I was like, I shouldn't have said that. But I was like, it's too late now. I tell
Tova the story all the time. Howard Stern made a movie, Private Parts, I think it was called. And he told a story. Basically, his wife had a miscarriage, and that day he was on the radio making jokes about it. And she was like really upset. And he said, sorry, baby, that's my art. And Tova doesn't like how often I bring that up in our relationship when I talk about things. But I'm always like, Howard Stern. He said it's okay, and now he's Howard Stern.
Yeah.
And it's tough. I'm lucky I don't have family that listens or gives a shit.
Oh, your family doesn't give a shit?
Yeah, it's kind of surprising.
Huh.
My mom only got mad at me once. In a joke, I implied that in high school she gave a guy a hand job, and she said I was calling her a slut. It's like that era. She like if I were to show a picture of her pre-nose job on the podcast, livid. If I said you're a bad mom and you ruined my childhood, wouldn't care at all.
And then
wouldn't care at all. Just about her looks and maybe being slutty in high school.
Wow.
And you could. She said, I'm so glad to be old now and I don't have to worry about being a slut anymore.
You're like,
because she's out. She's out
there.
Oh, she's out there.
I mean, just dipping
just
around.
dating,
fucking.
She only dates older, and these guys, they love her. I mean, she's a Pilates teacher. She's fit.
Oh, you got a hot mom.
Smart. Hot mom.
Oh, did you have a lot of guys hit on your mom?
Not really, because I didn't have friends.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I thought. That's how I said, this is convenient.
Yeah. This is the only plus of not having friends. They're not creeping on my mom. When did she get the nose job? How old is she?
I believe in high school. She grew up in Great Neck, and I think it was like every Jewish girl got a nose job, freshman, sophomore year of high school.
Yeah.
I have a deviated septum that I want to get fixed.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. It's bad. It's bad.
Full hole?
Almost. If I'm a little stuffy, I always have this worry I'm going to get kidnapped, and they'll cover my mouth so I don't scream. And as they cover it, I go, wait, I just, deviated septum, I can't breathe. And they won't believe me. And then they'll open up the trunk, I'll be fucking dead.
You think they'd care?
No, because they want me to be alive so they can get the ransom money, but I'll be dead. I swear I think about it all the time.
That's what you think about all the time, the deviated. Okay, how did you get it? Cocaine?
No, just not, what? It's a natural thing.
Everyone I know deviated septum has been a cokehead.
Well, you've been in LA for too long.
I've only been here for years.
Born with
Toronto.
this.
Born with it.
Yeah. But I worry, at first, it's a joke of you got deviated septum surgery. That's your code for getting a nose job. But I also do worry, if I get it, I don't want my nose to change.
It probably will. So what do they have to do for that surgery? They go in there. It's rearranged up there?
I mean, I know very little, but if there's a wall in between, it's just it's angled, or it juts out, or there's too much cartilage, and so it just blocks a whole nostril.
Oh, you got a whole nostril blocked. Doesn't look
yoga's awful. Yeah, look this way. You can see it.
Oh yeah. Okay, but you never notice, nor dead on. You can't tell.
Yeah.
Huh.
It sucks.
So you get sniffed up. You get snuffed up on one side. So if you're, you can't get kidnapped.
Yeah.
Or you have to ask them for.
Because my girlfriend, she finally got a CPAP machine. And I tried it, and it's you just basically through your nose. I couldn't do it.
Oh no!
I just it's going into, might as well go into my cheek.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I don't think it would change. Maybe it might change the nose. I wanted a nose job when I was a kid really badly. Me and my friend. Me and my friend. We had a nose job. Both of us. Me and my friend Maria. We both got bullied so badly. Oh yeah. I've talked about this before.
We had an envelope.
We both had an envelope in our rooms, and we put cash in it. Every time we'd make money, I'd take money aside and I'd put it in it was my nose job fund. And then one day the two of us were like, let's look at what the surgery would look like. We were like, we're not getting this.
Oh, what you did we
went to the school library, they peel your nose open and they were sawing it down. I was like, oh, we're not getting it. We're keeping our fucking big schnozzes. And then we'd always sign each other's yearbooks as from the schnoz, from schnoz 2, from the big schnoz.
I wouldn't look it up. I understand that urge, but there's no good that's going to come from that. There's no need
to look up a thing you're about to get. I think it really throws you off.
I can't. I watched once it was just what an autopsy is, and you're like, oh, life is a horror show.
Why would you watch this?
I don't know. There's been because I went through that phase when I was in high school. E-Bombs World, do you know what E-Bombs? So the videos were Mr. Hands, which is the guy who gets fucked by the horse.
Okay.
And it's a quick. He
dies, right?
He died after. They made a documentary about it.
Okay.
But if I remember the video correctly, it was really just someone is positioning it. I don't know if he's positioning it because it's big. Wow. And the horse just goes vroom, vroom. And I think on the third one, it comes out it's let go. And maybe the horse was nervous. But
yeah, the horse drank a bit too much whiskey. What do you mean it came out loose? It wasn't.
I'm saying it came just
the horse
that.
came.
Yeah. So it cut, like by the third one, it comes out just like.
God, I didn't know the horse came. I don't know why it's making it worse. I don't know why I thought.
You think the guy was like, I told you not to finish in me.
That's the part of the movie we don't see. Oh my God.
And those were the videos like you just like in high school. It was like that, like Goatsy. Yeah. Goatsy's a famous one.
I don't know what Goatsy is.
It's just a still image. It's just a guy in a bathtub holding his butt open.
Okay, this right. I hear so many stories. It's hard for me to keep them all in.
The Pain Olympics. Pain Olympics. Pain Olympics was I believe, someone who was no feelings below the waist, basically dissecting his penis.
What?
Open. Yeah.
This is a video people are watching. This is on the internet right now.
Yeah, it was like 2 girls, 1 cup, but like.
But that was funny.
I know, but some people like watching that stuff. It fucks me up. One of the worst videos I ever saw. It was like. And again, like it's more like it pops like recently. This is a little lighter. It was on Twitter. Things pop up on Twitter sometimes, and it was like a guy was eaten by a shark off the coast of some Egypt resort, and it comes up, and I'm like, don't watch this. But then I'm like, I can watch this, and it's far away. It's far away, and you just see like a guy. I mean, like bobbing. He comes back up, comes back down. Little blood on the water, and I watch it, and then my body is fucking shaking, and I'm like, I will never forget this thing. This is, it fucks you up.
Yeah,
they have people that like Facebook will hire that they basically take down videos that get posted, and so basically you're seeing the worst of humanity. And these people, they have post-traumatic stress disorder. They start breaking down, and it was a story of some like army general who served in Afghanistan, and now he can't sleep at night because all he does all day is watch the worst videos.
Well, then the solution to that guy is just simply stop watching the videos. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. That seems like there's a solution here, buddy. Turn off Facebook Reels. I hate to break it to you. That's crazy. I can't. So the guy died. The shark guy died.
No, him and the shark became friends, and they still hang out.
Survive.
It was a misunderstanding.
They swim out with no
this one was. It's horrifying, man. The world is bleak.
The world. There's some bad stuff out there. Mm-hmm. I feel like we're helping.
You never watched any of these videos? You never seen that?
I have I got a problem with that kind of stuff. Again, I don't know why I'm doing this podcast because a lot of it makes me very sick. I never did that.
Yeah.
And also our internet was so bad.
Sure.
So I couldn't. I was also
you were able to stop mid-pump with the horse being like, okay, I don't need to see the rest go in. It's moving so...
Our living room was also in the living room, so everyone could like walk by. Like our living room's kitchen was combined. So anything I was doing, my parents could see me. So I could never watch porn or something weird because it was like a desktop in the...
I found out about porn though because I had a computer in my room, but I was at my mom's one day, and I guess what happened, my dad's computer must have stopped working and he couldn't hold back. And on my Kazaa, where I downloaded all my like songs, illegal songs and stuff, he had downloaded porn. So I went to my computer one day, I was like, what's this video file? And I was like, you can download porn on Kazaa? And for the longest time, it was just images.
Okay.
Just downloading images. And I remember they said Angelina Jolie, nude pics from the set of Tomb Raider, Angelina Jolie. And it clearly was not Angelina Jolie. But like in my young brain, I was like, oh my God, so on set, she was in wardrobe and just took her tits out and took some pictures.
And then you're like getting off.
There was a time when I thought porn was real, and it was magical. There was this porn, it was called The MILF Hunter. And this guy, he's walking, he doesn't even look good. He's just walking around. Someone's following him with a handheld, and he would go to a grocery store and like meet this very attractive woman and be like, hey, those are nice cucumbers. And she'd be like, these? And they'd say, you want to go back to my place? And she was like, okay. And when I was a kid, I was like, is this what adulthood looks like?
Yeah. Like, this is
you just go out and you go, hey. And they're like, okay. And then you're doing a pile driver sex on a couch.
Yeah. And you're like, this is true love.
And then I saw her in another porn, that same woman. I was like, oh, she's a doctor too? Okay. Something's fishy.
Yeah, something's up here. Wait, what was the video your dad downloaded?
It might have been an image. It might have been an image. And it was probably like an older Playboy. Like, I think it was like
That's nice. Like pubes?
Yeah.
Like a classic. Yeah, I don't know why it's kind of nice. I mean, I found my dad was so, just hide it. So I moved the keyboard one day because I was getting annoyed by something, and this piece of paper flew out. And I was like, It was a very small piece of line paper. It had 3 websites on it. And I'll never forget, the first one was www.bigboobies.com. And I was like,
wait, what? And
That's the first search of a 13-year-old boy.
I know. And it was 3 boob sites. It was like boobs.com, boobs.org. I was like,
And he was
what?
worried he'd forget?
Yeah, that's the problem. How would he forget? It was literally 3 websites, and I remember being like, my dad's a fucking pervert. And I was so mad, and I shoved it back under there. And I didn't tell. I like told my sister, and she didn't even really understand what I was saying. But I was like, "Dad's a fucking pervert," and I was like so mad for so long at him for no. I'm like, I probably watch more porn than anybody in my family.
Someone told me that it was an audience member after a show. They said my dad, their dad is deaf, married to a woman, and they know he watches gay porn, hardcore gay pornography, and he leaves the tabs. And he's like 7 years old, and so they have this knowledge that their dad watches hardcore gay porn. And he's deaf, so sometimes you can hear it.
Oh my God.
And they don't know what to do with it.
What would you do with that? Like, I obviously now my dad, if he listens to this podcast, he's gonna know I saw the fucking boobs.com. Oh, there's the arm. But I'm like, I don't know what to do. I never said anything.
We haven't figured out how to deal with this.
No.
We don't know how to talk about it. We're all watching it. We all see these videos. They have 20 million views. We all walk around and we run into people and we've seen the same porn and we never talk about it. We never get to say, hey, you see that one with the MILF? And you never say it. It's like if none of us talked about The Office. And it's like, we watched 8 seasons of it and we're not going to mention it. So
I mean, I feel like my parents watch my stand-up though. They're like, well, she's a disgusting pig. So it's like, they know.
Yeah, but not everyone who does just because you do dirty stand-up doesn't mean you're watching filthy.
I am. I'm watching filthy stuff.
Really filthy?
No, it's kind of classic.
Tame.
It is kind of tame. Yeah, I'm not doing anything crazy. And then when something pops up, I get very upset. And that's in my head for a long time. And then
if I had like a box here and it pulled up your last 10 searches, how much money would you pay, like with your current money situation, to not have me read them?
Oh, I wouldn't. I'd be fine.
You'd be fine.
Yeah, I do.
What are they then?
I do incognito, but I definitely be fine. Let's see. How do I go to tabs? 20 tabs.
Oh my God, you were actually pulling this up.
No, yeah, it's I googled the photos of me because someone posted a horrendous photo of me. Zanies. It's mostly myself.
Not your last 5 web searches.
Oh, this was a bad one. I'm a comedian.
Your porn.
I know,
searches.
but I have those on. I put those on incognito.
Okay.
But it's usually I watch a lot of this one girl, Riley Reid.
Riley Reid, sure.
You know her. I watched another girl called Deluxe Girl because she's got a big pussy and it reminds me of mine, so I relate to her.
Yeah. I never go a porn like, oh, he's got a 5-inch cock, so I watch this so I can relate to this experience.
I like relating because I watch a lot of female masturbation because I feel like that's something that
really.
Because there's no disgusting man flopping around there ruining it, and it's like more nice.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's no creep in there.
I'm a story guy. I like.
You do the story.
I want to know how they're related every time.
That's psychotic.
No,
you watch from the beginning to end.
Not beginning, but I like to know. To be like, why they shouldn't, and then I.
That's crazy. That's actually insane. I don't ever watch a story, and it's usually on mute. I don't.
Mute.
I don't know. Sometimes the sounds because it's like it's dubbed over. I've done a lot of. What's it called? ADR? I can tell it's not real.
It doesn't.
I picture me in my closet doing. I picture them matching the mouth where it's like so insane.
They're like stick it in my pussy and they're like.
Much. Like a puppet. No one's moaning that much. It's not like the whole time. It's not.
I think it's so frustrating because I went from having roommates, so you're like headphones or like really low. And then finally you're alone for a little bit and you're like full blast. But in New York I'm not full blast.
Yeah, you got neighbors.
And then you got a girlfriend and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Keep it low.
You're keeping it low.
I'm keeping it low. I'm doing that one notch and you go up one higher, like, too loud.
That one notch to the second notch, it's such a big
it's crazy.
A big gap.
Yeah.
They're not really making this a smooth transition. It's either you can't hear it or it's full blast.
Mm-hmm. And then you never know. It's quiet, and then
yeah,
and you're like, okay, it's kind of a little warning.
Yeah. It's can I get a warning? Yeah, get the subtitles. Someone's about to come. You get the little warning.
Skip the stress of meal prepping over the holidays with Factor. Choose from 35 plus weekly flavor-packed, fresh, never frozen meals that support a healthy lifestyle and meet your meal preferences. All delivered right to your door and ready to eat in 2 minutes. With Factor, you can rest assured you're making a sustainable choice. We offset 100% of our delivery emissions and source 100% renewable electricity for our production sites and offices. Are you looking for special occasion meals for this holiday season? Well, you can level up with Gourmet Plus options prepared to perfection by chefs and ready to eat in record time. Enjoy premium ingredients like broccolini, leeks, truffle butter, and asparagus. I've been running around on the road like a crazy person, so I haven't had the chance to try Factor yet, but I'm ordering it next week, and I'm peeking at the menu. And I'm not going to lie, the shredded chicken taco bowl, it's looking pretty good. Roasted corn salsa, cilantro, lime, and sour cream. Calorie smart, might I add. Also, this grilled chicken and brown butter Yukon mash, excusez-moi. Roasted green beans, mushrooms, and leek butter. You're not going to make leek butter at home yourself. Get Factor. Head to factormeals.com/infection50 and use code infection50 to get 50% off. That's code infection50 at factormeals.com/infection50 to get 50% off. Ever wish you had visibly thicker hair? How about less shedding? Maybe stress is causing your hair to thin, or is it the other way around? There are multiple root causes of hair thinning, and Nutrafol addresses key root causes through a whole body approach to hair health. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve visible thickness and strength. From postpartum to menopause to plant-based lifestyles, and no matter your life stage, Nutrafol has 4 unique formulas to support women. Each is physician-formulated using drug-free, science-backed ingredients, so you get the most reliable results. I have a bottle of Nutrafol heading to my house right now because I personally have thinning hair. It's falling out like crazy. It's for sure from stress. Probably from also using my curling wand to keep the mullet nice and taut, but it is leaving my head at a rapid pace. So I'm going to get on the Nutrafol train here because I want thick, luscious curls. I need my mullet to be huge and not look like a wet Alice Cooper. Go to Nutrafol.com to take their health wellness quiz. Identify causes of your thinning hair, and Nutrafol will give you a personalized plan for better hair growth through their whole body health approach. Nutrafol supports healthier hair growth from within by targeting root causes of the thinning, stress, hormones, environment, nutrition, lifestyle, and metabolism through the whole body health. Nutrafol is now available in a vegan formula. Their newest supplement is formulated for women ages 18 plus with plant-based lifestyles who are experiencing signs of hair thinning. In a clinical study, 86% of women reported improved hair growth after taking Nutrafol women's hair growth supplements for 6 months. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code INFECTION. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code INFECTION. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code INFECTION.
Let's get into your body stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the septum, deviated septum. What else?
Deviated septum. I got my only surgery so far. I got a paraumbilical hernia from CrossFit about 6-7 years ago.
Well.
I was doing. I mean, CrossFit it's dangerous, but I was like getting stronger. But you're doing single rep, like so heavy you can only do one.
Yeah.
And I'm lanky and tall and uncoordinated, and no one's watching. So we're doing a single rep deadlift. You know deadlift?
Yeah.
And it was 90 pounds each side.
Oh, that's
which
a lot.
I could probably do now fine, but I just did like one, and I was like. Suddenly felt like my abs seized, and my abs felt like really sore all of a sudden, like as if I had done a purely ab workout, and the next day it felt like it suddenly.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what was going on, and I was feeling around my belly button. There was like a nodule or a little and it was
lump?
like kind of wiggly. Nothing. What?
Wiggly like a lump? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like a lump.
Can you see it or just in?
You could kind of see it, but like there was enough fat around it that it's just a little bit. And I was like playing with it, and I was like, was that there before? It was small enough that it wasn't like something's really wrong. I was like, was that there before? And I told the coach, who was like, we don't train for this.
Were you lifting up a tire or not?
And I even went to, because it stayed around, and I looked up, things and
you get all freaked out.
And I went to get an ultrasound. And I even talked to my father. My dad knows just enough science to be like the worst to talk to.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, it's a fat nodule or whatever. And I was like, oh, great.
Okay.
And I went to get an ultrasound, and they also like felt around there like there's something there, but yeah, it's something, probably just a fat nodule, and sounds good. And then one day I'm playing with it in the mirror, and then pop back in.
Pop
and
back
I was like,
in?
pop back in. Because what a hernia is, I don't know this for sure, but it's a tear or so basically fat, or it can be intestine, like a little bit was poking out a tiny tear. And so then for the next like couple weeks, if I did a certain workout, it would like kind of reemerge, and I could pop it back in. You could kind of, I could hear it like inside.
Hear it.
I don't know if you could hear it outside, but I could hear it like through my body. Like
You could hear like a little suck back in.
and you'd wake up in the morning and like it would, because of gravity, it would be like a little bit lower, and then the further the day.
How long did you let the pop in and out go? Because this seems like if I was popping a body part back in, I'm like, we got to get this.
I'm sure I saw the doctor that week once I popped it back in, and then scheduled. And they said, not to. I did like work out for a couple weeks after, because they said it's okay.
Okay.
It's not. Some people have hernias for
years.
long amounts of time,
Yeah.
and for most guys, it's inguinal, and I think that's with guys when they hold your testicles and say cough. That's what they're checking for. An inguinal hernia. And most guys seem to get them, it would seem. But so then I got a surgery. Sometimes they put in a mesh.
So how? Oh.
Like a metal mesh. Mine was too small. They didn't need to.
So how did they go in? Through the belly button? So they said we had to fix this. It's going to keep popping in and out.
Yeah, it doesn't recover on its own. So it's just like you got to do something eventually. You could wait, or like if I do another deadlift, it could tear more.
No, let's get this fixed. Yeah.
So I went in. It was my first surgery. I don't think I'd ever been put under. I did laughing gas when I was like in kindergarten or like third, like some wisdom tooth, maybe third grade or something.
Okay, yeah.
And I was. If you've had a surgery?
No.
It is the most horrifying experience you could imagine. I said in my mind, I was like, my friend could be there until I'm out.
Yeah.
But it's more like you say bye, and then they roll you in a room that the guy in the Saw movies would use. And it's like a big fucking light, like a dentist chair light, but bigger. And there's 8 nurses and doctors, and there's machines moving around me. And I started sobbing. I started heaving and sobbing. And there was one nurse who all she did really was just like rub my chest, like very just like, it's okay. It's okay. And I mean...
And how old were you when this was happening?
I was 27.
Okay.
And then... Yeah. Well, you wait. What are you
I'm not
judging
laughing.
me?
I'll
cry again.
Oh, I'm going to freak out if I ever get anything. I'm scared shitless.
My dad got the quintuple bypass 2 years ago. And
Is that a hard thing?
Yeah, quintuple. So they had to take a vein out of his leg to put it in his chest. And... Man, I started some cholesterol medication last week because it's like...
I might start it right now. You're freaking me out.
I mean, life is horrifying.
Okay, wait, go back to the surgery. So you go in, you get it.
I get it.
Put out.
Yeah, and I'm just like a little sore for a little, and for a long time I have a little OCD, but I was very paranoid about like if I felt anything. Oh, it broke, or like I have a little scar, like I have a little bump there, and every time I do a deadlift, I'm kind of fine now. Yeah. I'll never do single rep anything ever again.
No,
what am I? I'm a fucking comedian. What am I going to be, Carrot Top? I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, you could. He's judged.
But I will never do that again.
Okay.
It was horrible.
But you work out a lot. You were doing hot yoga every day in Montreal.
Yeah, I was my mom, she was bulimic for a long time. And I think she gave me, I don't know. I like to feel thin. I don't know why. My mom was definitely like, she was always like, if she would always say, I haven't been able to work out in a couple days, and that would stress her out. And she tells me this story that I don't remember, but she was on the Stairmaster. She had like a Stairmaster in the attic or whatever. And she complained about feeling fat. And apparently when I was 4, I was like, you always say you're fat, but you're so skinny.
Oh my God.
And I don't remember. She always brings it up. And yesterday I said to my mom, because she lives in LA, I said, I'm in pretty good shape right now. And she was like, someone last night said you were in good shape. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Was she at the show?
Someone. Yeah, I was like, someone. Just say yeah. Just say yeah. What the fuck, dude?
I overheard someone in the crowd say you were fit.
Yeah.
I always got big boned. I tell my my family big. You're just big boned.
I had boobs.
You boobs.
I had it's always been heavy up here. Even now, like that's where the fat goes. And when I was in school, I was mortified for pool parties, and I would wear the towel up here.
Oh.
And then some fucking guy was like, "Why are you wearing your towel like a woman?" And I was horrified. We had to do shirts versus skins. In soccer, and this guy, his name's Blake Marriott, heir to the Marriott fortune. He went up to me and he went, "Booby, booby, 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 booby," like a boxer, like he was training on my tits. And
I shouldn't be laughing at your pain. Did you look back now and laugh?
Yeah, you look back. I think I look back and I go, "Thank God." At least it made me funny now. I think if you were good looking in your childhood, you're not going to be a very interesting person.
No.
Later in life.
Also, Blake's probably got the smallest penis, and he was definitely making up for something when he was doing that to you. Mm-hmm. No bully was walking around like with a perfect home life.
He was I think he looked like a blonde, like Hitler Youth type.
Yeah. So something was going on at home.
Yeah.
Marriott's didn't get their money for nothing.
I keep looking up.
I do like Marriott's. They're very nice hotels.
They're very nice.
Something
they just own everything now. Every hotel is Marriott owned by Marriott. I'm like, well, figure out a name.
Yeah, figure out. Okay, so you have boobs, but you don't have boobs now. You have a chest.
I have a chest.
Yeah.
I work out a lot.
Okay.
I work out so hard to be like, in my mind, the amount I should work out, I should look like Joel Kim Booster. Like that's like it feels like I do so much.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, yeah.
And you don't really drink. You do have a good body. You don't drink. You eat well.
I drink sometimes. I smoke pot. Okay. I eat a lot. I like to eat.
Okay.
But thank you. I appreciate it.
We went out night. Me and Jeff Asmus, we had this disgusting Cuban sandwich that was dipped in goo, and you had it in a bowl. I remember that. I was like, I
gotta do it on the road. I mean, because every night people go out and they're like, come on, it's the night. It's like, well, this is every night for me.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's every night. The road's killing me.
It would have been fun, though. I'm sure Ralphie May had a much more fun life than either of us.
He probably did, yeah.
Probably was having a blast.
Probably had big boobs, too. Big old
titties.
Big old titties. I fooled around with a guy who had boobs. And he had them, like, surgically removed. And, like, yeah, and it was really, actually, I don't know why I'm bringing this up.
But just underneath.
So we were fooling around, like, when it was like getting close to sex time, and I saw that he had 2 scars. And I was like, oh. And I was like, I guess I shouldn't have said anything. But I asked, I go, oh, did you?
I don't know.
I go, are you transitioning? And I probably shouldn't have said that.
I thought you just said, oh, scars.
But I was not going to not fuck him. I wasn't like turned off by it.
You should have started with that. You should have said, I'm still going to fuck you. Little question.
Well, then then he got really upset, obviously. But then I tried to leave and he blocked the door. And I had to scream for help. And it was very scary. This happened in Los Angeles. Like 5 years ago.
Well, you took the fun out of the story.
The story's not fun anymore. I don't know why I brought the story up.
But I'm curious.
Have asked.
But like, did you say it? Were you teasing at all, or were you just like curious?
We were lying there, and
are you transitioning?
No, I literally like massaged the scars. I'm like, oh, what's this? He's like, nothing. And I was like, oh, it looks like you have like 2 scars here. I'm like, did you have? I asked, did you have your breasts removed? Is what I said. And then I think he got really pissed, thinking, you think I'm a fucking woman? And he got like really mad. And I was like, oh, and I said, I don't care if you are.
Sure.
Either way, I'm still here with you right now. I think you're attractive. Like, I'm not turned off.
Sure.
I've made my mistake now twice asking people about scars. Somebody had like a lot of lines in their arm once. I didn't know what that was. I thought they had a car accident. There's a lot of glass.
What, do you think it's fair?
It turns out it's not glass.
If you see someone's naked body and they have scars, to be like,
I don't think it's fair. I shouldn't have asked. Because if somebody grabbed my big gut and was like, hey, what's this? Hey, what do you got in here? A baby in here? I'd be like, ah! Like, I'd be so embarrassed.
That's a totally different thing.
I guess it is. But I mean, I guess you shouldn't ask about someone's.
I think, though, I think if you have scars and you're going to be fucking, and a small question about the scars send you into a tizzy, maybe time to process that before you show up naked to a stranger.
This is why I always mention that I have a large labia. I want to warn the men. I'm not pussyfooting around here. I have a big labia. Get ready for it.
But you say it in your stand-up.
Yeah, but
you say it on a date with someone who hasn't seen your stand-up, or do you send them a link to your Comedy Central set? Say, hey, check this out.
No, I'll mention it before, and then they'll go, oh, it's not that big, and I'll go, phew. You know what I mean? Like, I just like to give the warning.
I always thought that like if I had herpes, that I would talk about in stand-up, and I was single, that I would talk about in stand-up all the time, just to like let the world know, save that conversation.
You know what? Yes, and I think I thought you're supposed to talk about herpes and tell people. I think you are. I don't know.
I think so. I hear it. I always hear in Europe. You always hear these stories. In Europe, everyone has herpes, or no one even cares. You don't even bring it up.
Yeah,
it's like saying you have a sniffle.
Here. Everybody's HPV here.
Sure.
Everyone's got it. Maybe you don't. But.
I went on a date. It was early. I was like 22. I went on 3 dates with this woman. It was weird. We had all this chemistry, and it seemed like strange that we hadn't had sex yet. Just we had all this chemistry, and then on the third date, we're hooking up, and she said, "Hey, can I tell you something?" And I was like, okay, we're unlocking the secret. And she was engaged to a man, found out he was gay, cheating on her with a man, and gave her herpes as well, like 1-2 punch.
That's a lot. That's a double whammy there.
And at the time, I knew it was the end of our relationship because it wasn't. I could see us maybe if we had like amazing chemistry, I'd think about it longer and possibly get there. But at the time, as like a 21, 22-year-old, I was like, I want to keep fucking for a couple more years casually without having this conversation.
Yeah. Also, I feel like with something like that, and I guess, no, I can't talk because I had HPV before, and I told the guy way too late. We were already like in bed. I'm like, I have HPV. But I told the guys when I had it, I'd be like, I have it. I'd explain the whole thing.
Yeah. And did any guy ever go?
No guy cared. One guy literally went, oh, whatever, I don't care. I was like, okay, well, I've given you the warning. I'm like, do you have condoms? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, you're for sure going to get it then. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I've given the warning. I'm pretty sure you probably gave it to me anyways, but it doesn't matter. Like I would tell people, but I've been negative. I've been negative for 7 years.
I've only had condomless sex with 3 people, 2 girlfriends, and one was not good. She was on top. This was like an audience hookup. Didn't have many in my life. She was on top. She like got up high enough, ripped off the condom, sat back down. And I had
that's not good.
Yeah,
that's
no, I know.
Assault now.
I understand.
California.
I understand.
Didn't ask.
It was so fast. It was just like I didn't have long enough to figure it out. I think if she had given me a couple weeks, I would have not let it happen. But in the moment, I was like, fuck it. And then here's what I remember. I mean, no, it happened really fast. I didn't have time. I didn't have time to fully process it. But I'm not gonna. But like I could have if I'd been like, oh, and like rolled my penis away. But then the thing was, it wasn't great. It was not a great sex. But I was like, she was in town one more day, and I was like, well, if I've already broken the seal, I might as well have condomless sex one more time the next day.
Isn't it crazy how you think that? I always think that if I fuck out a condom, I'm like, well, we gotta fuck in the morning.
You might as well.
I mean, we've already got the disease. We've already got it. I'll say this, and I want to announce this. I'm no longer fucking fans. I'm stopping. I must stop. I must stop. I did it again, and I've made a mistake. Fans are weird.
I never fucked. These were someone who saw me do a good set at LOL Comedy Club. I've never, but I can imagine like thinking it would be fun, and then like I don't like someone to be fawning over me or they think that I'm as funny in real life as I am on stage, and I'm like, that was 6 years I worked on those lines. I'm like throwing this out at dinner.
Yeah.
What is it like when? Like, do they praise you? Do they?
There's been praising. There's been like quoting my jokes in bed, but it's also like they know too much about me.
They're like, there's the big labia.
Yeah, there it is. No, it's literally, I just, and I think I'm like in my head, I'm like, oh, they like me though, but it's like they like you in a different way. They don't like you in a way that you want someone to like you. Like they like you in a way where it's like this guy now changed his profile photo to me and him on his Instagram, and it was in the meet and greet line. No. So it's like things like that, and it's like. There's been a couple things that have like kind of freaked me out a bit. So now I'm spooked. I'm absolutely spooked, and I'm like, that's it now. Because I think about me as a fan. I'm a weirdo. I'm obsessed with this band. I'm weird. The way I am with them is weird. And now it's like, oh, that's what these people are with me. It's weird. It's weird to be that obsessed with somebody. Yeah, it's a weird. You like them in a different way. You have these weird fantasies with them. It's like it's all weird. And then when you meet them, like you're like, this is happening. It's the person I've been, and they just know everything. So the more successful
you get, the smaller your dating pool becomes.
Guess what? We're done. We're done now. That's it. I have done it. I've done the last one, and we will no longer. I'm gonna find.
How much money do you want to put on that? I'm gonna.
I'm honestly so freaked out right now, like to the point where I'm.
It's because this picture thing. Someone.
And there's more to it, but I'm actually like. Thank God they don't live here. Like I'm like actually freaked out, like a little bit. I'm like, oopsies, whoa. Yeah, and I'm sure he's just a nice guy. But he's coming on way too strong, and I'm I've pulled back.
Well, good.
I've pulled back quite a bit. And I thought ignoring was the solution. As it turns out, it's not.
Don't you dare take this part out of the podcast when we're done.
I can't. No, I can't. Because I honestly kind of want him to hear it too. Because it's that weird. He literally, okay, I can tell you. He literally mentioned, we fucked with a condom because I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Without a condom. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm a moron. And I made a scene. I'm like, do you have, I'm like, you probably have diseases. I'm an idiot. And then that was a month and a half ago, maybe over a month ago. I've been ignoring him for a week. He just texted me his STD results going, FYI, you're good. And I don't. A little bit of relief? No, I'm like, please. I guess it's a little bit of relief, but it's also like, I don't know. It's
I love
weird.
that in his mind, he's like, because in his mind, he's like, oh, he's trying to figure out how to get you back.
Yeah, and it's gone. And we're done.
He's like,
and this is
it took him that long to be like, fine, I'll prove I don't have an STD.
I'm weirded out. It doesn't matter. There's
what
more
are you doing having sex without a condom?
I've got problems, man.
But what do you mean?
I'm an idiot.
One.
I have them.
I listen. I've been in pinches. I went up. I was a woman. We were about to have sex. Neither of us had a condom. I wasn't gonna do it. And there was a guy walking on the street, and I went up to him, man to man, and I said, "Hey, brother, do you have a condom? I'm about to." And he understood. If a random guy came up to me and I had a condom,
no,
I'd be like, "Of course."
I'm gonna have you record this, and every time I'm about to have sex, I'm gonna be like, Gianmarco said. I have a problem, and then I'm such a hypochondriac too, so that I'm like, why am I doing this? And then I have to go get tested. It's a whole thing. Do you get a rush? I don't get a rush. I immediately, sometimes I like cry afterwards. It's on the way home on the plane. I have a whole panic attack. Being like, why did I do that? What the fuck? And then I'm just when you overthink things, I like have a little flashback to it. I was like, it's making me like.
Are you against carrying just condoms on your person?
I have them. I have them on me. It doesn't make none of this makes sense. Okay, get off me. Let's go back to you.
Worst story you've ever heard. What's the worst thing you've ever heard? Oh
yeah. What's the worst body thing you've ever heard? Was it one of those E-bombs things you said, or do you? Oh,
I guess those E-bombs things. But I one that I heard that was like a friend of a friend. Some guy worked on some kind of like farm, and a corn shearer, a corn shucker, and his pants got caught in, got both his legs, and then he just waited there for a long time.
Did he die?
No.
He lived?
No.
Bleeding everywhere.
And just waiting.
Eating a cob of horn.
I'm sure that's what he was doing. I'm sure he put them in his stubs and like walked around. I was like, this is funny.
You know those little corn things where you put the end of two corns? He used those little.
Sure. Like a little peg leg of corn. I wonder if he can still enjoy corn. If he's just like, I never want to see corn.
No, there's
again.
no way he can do corn anymore.
So that's one that I heard. That I have flashes like I have what is it? Obtrusive thoughts? Is that it?
Yeah.
Invasive thoughts?
Yeah,
Obtrusive thoughts? Like I always think about like, what if a car just hit me right now across the street? Yeah. Or there was a time when if I saw like an oven, I'd have just a thought, like a Holocaust thought of like, oh my God, what is it like to be put into an oven?
Oh,
and
God.
Then yeah. And it's...
Those aren't good.
Yeah.
I get those on high balconies. I go out there, I'm going to jump. I'm like, I'm not going to jump. What am I doing? I'm going to jump. I'm never going to jump. Get the hell back inside. In Dubai, I stayed in this huge building and I was so freaked out. I like, one night was so drunk and in a weird mood. I'm like, I had to close and lock the door and put a fucking chair in front of me. I'm like, I can't go on this balcony. It's fucking me up.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would, but I don't know why. I don't like that.
I know what you mean.
The thoughts just pop in there and they sit around. You don't want them in there. Get out of there. We had an episode with this hospice nurse, Julie, that was in here.
Oh my God.
And I thought it helped me with my death thing because I'm terrified of dying. And now, I don't know, I get to every like couple times a year, I get these phases where all I think about is dying and I just sob in my bed at night. And I'm on it again and it's bad.
You want to share? It's not a fun. So Russell, my co-host of The Downside, he had a friend who worked at was a nurse, and she told him, she said, there's old people and they always talk about how they're ready to go. They want to die. They just cannot wait to get off this, shuffle off this mortal coil. And then she said to Russell, and when the time comes, they never want to go.
Oh, I don't
They're
like
never
that.
ready.
What do they say?
They just want to, they don't want to die. But it was just like,
Oh, this isn't good. This is
There was like some video on Twitter. It's like a weird form of hope where it's like an old lady like blowing out like 91st birthday. And she goes, I hope this is the last one. And the kids are like, grandma. And like, this is like, no, when it comes down, she'll be like, please, no.
No, please, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not good.
It's
I'm the same. I had a college existential, like bad. And I still have it. When I get high, I always think about death, and it's not good.
No, I can't. If I'm in these moods, I haven't smoked weed in a few days because I'm like, I can't get into that cycle.
I remember when I was younger thinking, oh, well, in my lifetime, they'll figure out how to reverse aging and I won't have to deal with this. And then like you get older and you're like, oh, they can't even fucking figure out
shit.
anything.
Oh God, let's get off the death thing. I'm gonna be all freaked out for the next while.
Yeah.
Did your mom say weird things to you growing up? Your mom or dad?
My dad just would always just be like, if you go out with wet hair, you will get a cold. And I Googled, and that's not the case. That's not how colds start. That's not how germs spread. It is completely false. The only reason, to my knowledge, that people get sick more around the wintertime is there's just more compact spaces and being crowded and coughing on each other. Mm-hmm. So we associate that with being cold means you're going to be sick more. But there's people in Antarctica aren't just like have a cold forever. Yeah. It's insane. But my dad still believes it deeply. And he also believes the vitamin C myth of just like, you're sick, just pound down the vitamin C. Emergency, unless they sponsor ATC, it's a scam. It's garbage.
Yeah,
and people still subscribe to it. And I understand the urge.
I do.
When I'm sick, I have that urge of like, can I do anything to speed this along? Vitamin C. That's not how the body works.
No.
We are so this. And this is why people don't trust the vaccine, is because we don't even talk about like, we can't even figure out vitamin C and how to educate people. And instead these companies, whoever made Emergency was some like teacher who said it helped with her kindergarten class. No one checked the studies. And then her company became successful enough to get a bunch of people to, some random scientist to validate it. And then you wonder why people aren't going to be ready to do a vaccine. We're the most scientifically illiterate. Oh, that's horrible.
And I tried that vitamin C thing every day when I was sick, and I did absolutely nothing.
Of course not.
I chugged it.
Of course not.
I chugged 2 a day. It's like 1 a day. I'm like, suck it. I'm doing 2.
If it worked, everyone would be doing it. That's sometimes the way that I think of things, is like, oh, if this was useful, the whole world would be doing it. If all pseudoscience stuff, if telepathy was real, if there was someone who could predict the future, they'd be head of the world.
And here we are. Here we are doing act outs on stage for a bunch of pigs. I'm kidding.
The funniest way that you could die.
Okay, let's do the last question. Funniest way to die.
So I was in a mall in Bloomington. I was in the Mall of America in Bloomington.
Ooh,
and there was like a Nickelodeon theme park inside the mall. It's like the biggest mall in America. And I was high, and I was going on these rides, and I looked around, and I was just like, this is for kids. I'm 6'4". And I kept thinking, like, is it safe? And I'm looking for like a tall kid, see if I can let him cut and have him go first. But my thought was, it would be funny if I'm with a bunch of kids and it's like my head gets cut off right before they take the picture. And so it's me headless, and just it's the moment of the kids like realizing it, and the head is like just is hitting one in the eye, my head, and
the parents are like, we got to buy this photo, it's hilarious.
Of course, everyone buy the photo. It's the most money the park's ever made.
Do you get scared mostly on rides? Because I never realized.
No, I just have heard stories and they stick in my head. There was some water slide ride where a 10-year-old, and this was because he was too light, bounced and then decapitated fully. And it's just the setting of it. Ooh. The setting of you're there with your kids, water park day. All right, you go do this. You want to do the slide again? Go ahead.
Okay, I'll wait at the bottom.
You turn around and you hear just like, and the water and the blood. The same with the shark. It's just the way the blood like spreads out.
Ooh,
and then
there's
like
so many other kids going after.
And then do the other kids like the quickest way down is to go down the slide. So do they also continue down the slide? Is one kid up there? He's like, I waited an hour. I mean, he's not coming back. It's done for this kid.
Let the water
might
wash
as well
away.
go.
That's okay. My sister this morning sent me this is freaking me out. I'm done with rides. I'm absolutely done with rides at this point because I feel like there's too many things popping up.
You're gonna fuck a guy with no condom, and they're gonna be a fan, and it's gonna be on a roller coaster, and it's gonna be tonight.
And I'm gonna
do all these
That's
things
how I'm
tonight.
gonna die. Canada's Wonderland.
Oh God.
Canada's Wonderland. This ride called the Lumberjack. They were stuck upside down for more than 30 minutes.
That's nice
That's
version.
in Toronto. This is like that's also like what are we saying right now? Picture just dangling. Like I'd be holding myself. Like there's no way. There's no way. People must pass out.
I'd be Googling upside down, like, if blood flows to your head for 30 minutes, can you die that way?
As you're on the ride?
But that's a nice video on Twitter all the time from, like, there was something, I skipped it, it was like a ride in India, and it was like, like, goes off the hinges, flies off everywhere.
No, this is it. How is this happening? I drove by Six Flags the other day, and I got, like, the heebie-jeebies.
But which one was this? Was this a good theme park? Was this a regular one?
It's Canada. It's Canada's #1 theme park. Canada's Wonderland in Toronto. It's in Mississauga. It's a big theme park. Never been issues before. I don't know. Maybe there have.
If you got stuck, it would be great for our careers. If either of us got stuck upside down on a roller coaster, it would be amazing.
The new set, we'd have original material.
Of course.
Oh, we'd have a new.
I always say that to myself whenever something like that. I'm like, you'll get a good 5 minutes.
Yeah. Anytime I have a horrendous date, I'm like, at least this is a bit.
But now my mom does that. When I tell my mom something bad happened, she's like, well, at least it'll be. I was like, shut the fuck up. Can you just say something motherly for once?
Did your mom say she loved you when she went to
bed? She did, but like my dad was the like affectionate, huggy, kissy. My mom like wasn't like that. Like if I make the mistake sometimes, I'm like, Mom, is this funny for a joke? And she's like, not your best. And I'm like, not my best. I get one best. Oh. Can you answer the fucking question? Is it funny?
Why are you asking your mother is funny though? That's
because you think a thought and you go, oh, is this funny?
I would never ask my parents if that was funny. They don't think anything I've ever said is funny. If I just ask it like that, they're like, guess that's a bit for you. I'm like, it is a bit, and it's gonna kill.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see it kill. Where can everybody find
I love you, Mom. You can find me at my mom's house currently in Los Angeles. You can find me everywhere at Gianmarco Soresi. That's spelled with a G. Gianmarco Soresi. And my podcast. Check it out, The Downside with Gianmarco Soresi.
And you're on tour. Check out your tour.
The Leaning In Tour. It's just we here's the thing. We comedians, we lie. We're on tour. We're just performing everywhere.
Yeah.
And then we slap on the label of a tour.
Exactly it.
Sebastian Maniscalco's on tour. I'm going to the Mall of America, getting high and riding a SpongeBob ride, and then performing for 15 people that night. The Leaning In Tour. Check it out.
That's good promo. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for letting me open for you.
That's my pleasure. Thank you for doing it.
Good evening. Bye, everybody.